Okay, so welcome to another edition of The Way I Heard It. Specifically, this story comes to us from the late 1980s. I would say 88, 89. As I've said in the first episode, which featured the Thing, or the Great Seal Bug, which tells you the story about the Trojan horse that Moscow gave our ambassador, the embassy there. What I'm going to talk about here, I'd like to just reiterate that over the years I've heard different variations on these stories that I've been told, but in essence the stories remain intact. There may be some variations here or there with years or one person versus three people, but the essence of the story is the same. So what we're going to start on is with this FIT, and this is the DGS, the General Directorate of External Security. It's basically French intelligence. And the story goes that the intelligence services had a wish list of things and, also wanted to help out some of their own companies that worked within France. So what they did is, unbeknownst to or beknownst to, they planted some recording devices, microphones specifically, in the Air France. Now, originally this came out and they basically said, oh, that was only on the Concorde, and then that disappeared. But from what I understand, first class or business class was bugged in many planes, Air France planes that were servicing the United States and going back and forth to Europe. For the spies, they were specifically interested in British helicopter technology, solid rocket booster technology, satellite research and information about high-definition televisions and technologies where European countries were lagging behind America and later on Japan and many others. So how did this all come about? Well, the discovery was made by an agent, as I was told, who was having dinner and a cocktail on the plane, when dinner and a cocktail were actually decent on a plane. But he noticed a tear or a seam that was coming undone, had been stretched, and he tugged at it and observed that it was a microphone. And he was an intelligence officer and said, wait a minute, is this about me? What's going on here? Well, he quickly wound up changing seats and inspecting those seats and found that that was bugged as well. When he returned from his mission, which was in Germany, he downloaded the information to his supervisors, and then brought this subject up, his findings about this, which were external from what he was working on, and they directed him to take that information somewhere else. Well, the interesting thing is the French were called on this, and they basically said, look, we are allies, but in a global economy, we're competitors, and we just can't compete. And America at the time was basically just interested in, we caught you, don't do this here. And for several months after this event, they had been given a reasonable amount of time to, remove all of these devices. And the technical surveillance, technical security teams were deployed to look at multiple random flights to see if the technology was still present, and they found that it wasn't. However, after a lengthy examination, one of the individuals on the team was asked, do you believe that they have found another way, or that we could not find it? And they had determined that there was no technical surveillance devices, eavesdropping devices, no longer in the plane. However, they had a very strong feeling that this had moved to human operation at that point. Somebody who could gather intelligence from them. And there is no better positioned person than the first class or business class flight attendant that can pick your brain and get you to drinking and chat you up and get all kinds of information out of you. Some people call this the honeypot. It's a variation of the honeypot. You know, I tend to just warn clients, not in a derogatory way like I'm going to do here, but you can think she's really into you, but I have some advice. If you're Al Bundy in the United States, you're probably Al Bundy over the Atlantic and in Germany or France or where you are going. So if something seems too good to be true, it most likely is, and there's an ulterior motive here. So with that said, I just wanted to get that out there. I go into a much lengthier conversation about this when I come and speak, but hopefully you enjoyed this. You got some information out of it. You can look around the web, but they have really walked this back. In fact, one of the locations that I saw said that only happened on the Concorde fleet, but my understanding was it was on their regular Air France Airbuses as well. So there you go. That will wrap this one up, and we hope to see you down the road where we'll be talking about more as I heard it. Thank you, and have a great day.